Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're really excited to welcome you. My name is Kim Greenholm, and I'm an Outreach and Education Advisor with the Student Recruitment Team at Mohawk College. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful faculty of our Child and Youth and Human Services program. So today we have Kim Ann, we have Stacy, Kimberly Black, Nicole Barron, Heather Perry, she will be running our presentation, and Terry Lynn McMillan will be facilitating today's session. So she'll be moderating all of the questions that come in. Before we start, this is just a reminder to participants to please keep your videos and microphones turned off. We kindly ask you to use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen to ask any questions, and we would be happy to answer them at the end of our presentation. We are recording today's session for future use and for it to be viewed on our community studies programs as well on their web pages. We know everyone wants to know how September will look for program delivery. After careful consideration and a number of options, the college has made the decision to deliver the fall 2020 semester of our community service programs virtually. If entering a program that will be virtual for the fall semester, please know that the plan is flexible. We can easily scale it up or scale it down to accommodate any changes along the way. You can be confident that our new learning style will meet the learning outcomes for your program while ensuring the quality education you'd expect from Mohawk College. I'd encourage everyone to check any updates regarding COVID-19 on the Mohawk College website, which we will share in the chat room for you to review. All of our updates and program plans will be listed there. If we have any international students joining us today, welcome. Please be sure to connect with our International Student Department for questions and concerns directly relating to international studies. While this session will be directed mostly towards domestic students, please feel free to ask us questions and we can certainly get you the answers that you need or direct you to who will be able to answer them. The website for the International Student Support and information will also be available for you in the chat. Just a reminder, there is still space in some of our community studies programs for applicants looking to start this September. To be considered, you will need your grade 12 English at a college or university level to meet the admission requirements. Further details on admission requirements can be found on each of our program pages. Now, I'll hand it over to Stacy to provide you with more information on our programs.
Great, thank you, Kim. Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Stacy Money. I'm a field placement specialist for the Child and Youth Care program and also part-time faculty with the college. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our Child and Youth Care program as well as our Child and Youth Worker Apprenticeship program. Next slide. This is our team. You will get to meet them virtually as we will be taking part in Zoom classes, but just a brief intro here of Sean, Alexandra, Stacy, Nicole, Sheva, Sonia, and Julie. Next slide. So we've also included here just a quick overview of the program of studies. So of course, semester 1, you would start with Intro to Child and Youth Care Practice, several other courses there with some comms as well, but this will really help prepare you for semester 2, where you'll take a step towards your first practicum. Next slide. So as I mentioned in here, we have Intro to Counseling Communication, Intro to Abuse, Trauma, and Resiliency. We also will have Professionalism and CYC Practice. So during this course, you'll have your first placement portion. So that would be 56 hours in the community. Typically that takes place in the school setting. We're very optimistic that that will take place, but we also have a backup plan if we were unable to attend the school placements. We have virtual placements, simulations, and assignments in lieu of those hours. Next slide. Again, you'll have your advanced course. Working with Exceptionalities is a great course because this really prepares you and clarifies just some of the exceptionalities and behaviors that you'll be working with in the field. Some great courses here as well, and another general elective. Next slide. So here we have family work, trauma-informed approach, human sexuality for child and youth care, advanced group work, and another general elective. And keep in mind that the previous courses will be prerequisites for some of these courses. So make sure that you are attending all your Zoom classes and able to continue on with your cohort. Next slide. And now we start with semester 5 and 6, and these will mainly take place in placement in the community. Now this will be, of course, your third year. So hopefully we have lots of opportunities available 3 years from now, but you will be in the community semester 5 for 32 hours a week. So you would have class typically one day where you would do a field placement seminar, CogMod, assessment and treatment, and then you're in your placement, like I said, 32 hours a week. That can look a little different because it could be a 12-hour placement a few days a week. It could be Tuesday to Friday. You may actually be taking part in placements on the weekends or in evenings. So we work with your field placement specialist to support a placement that works best for you. And then your final semester, you will have just professional development and child and youth care. That would be mainly online. Even if we are back in the college at that time, you would probably only have 3 face-to-face classes regardless, because again, you're in placement 36 hours a week. So for a total of 504 hours at the end of semester 6. Next slide. Thank you. So as I mentioned, the experiential learning is a huge part of the CYC program. That's where you're going to have your hands-on experience, learn that professionalism. You have extreme support from the college. Field placement specialists will visit you twice while you're on placement. They'll support you with mid and final evaluations. You will need to supply a vulnerable sector police clearance, but again, we have those placement seminars to explain and assist you in how to go about getting that. We also have some alternative placement settings that may require additional pre-placement recommendations. So for example, if you were in a healthcare setting, you may be required to provide an immunization or a TB shot, but all of that we will support you with and assist you with prior to going out into placement. So again, semester 2 would just be that 56-hour placement. Typically, that's 8 hours a day, 1 day a week for 7 weeks in the final half of the term. And then your main placements will begin semester 5, 448 hours for the first, and then 504 hours for the second. Next. Thank you. There are some associated costs. Of course, you are responsible for the police clearance. The college does not require to see the police clearance. That is between the agency's discretion and you. So you will be asked to provide that. The costs associated are anywhere from $30 to $45, depending on the area you live in. And again, you'll provide that to the agency site where they would just photocopy it and give you back the original. We also have some trips, if available. There may be some cost associated with, but that's undetermined at this point. And of course, you'll have your textbooks. Next slide. Thank you. So as I mentioned, lots of new supports available. This is a very unique time, and many of our youth and students in the community are learning to use virtual supports. Some are being supported virtually. So you are acquiring fantastic skills that will now be a part of our new lifestyle. So all the tools that are available in Mohawk Library, digital tools kit, all our posted phone lines here, plus the support you're going to get from the college faculty, your student success advisors, and your field placement specialists, and most importantly, each other. This is a very isolated time for everyone, so it's really important to stay connected, use those discussion board areas, the group chats that we facilitate, make sure to take part in them. Next. Thank you. And as I mentioned, don't be afraid to ask questions. We are all available. We are working online, but we are always working. So don't hesitate to send any of your faculty or field placement specialist questions. Don't be afraid to engage in conversations with other classmates. Recognize that there are differences and support each other. Attend the classes that are Zoom classes because that's valuable information that you'd be missing if you're not there. And please join in. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear about your previous experience. We want to know what brought you to the field. So don't hesitate to connect with us. Next. Okay, I'm going to talk briefly now about our apprenticeship program. So this looks quite a bit different than our full-time program, but the Apprenticeship Child and Youth Worker Program highlights on-the-job training where you would actually take part in sponsorship hours, as well as 3 Mohawk College placements. So it sounds like a lot of hours, but the wonderful thing about the apprenticeship program is your sponsorship, which is supported through the ministry, can be a paid placement. So unlike the Mohawk College placements that are unpaid, this can be a paid job that you're doing and will contribute to the hours towards your certificate. So you'll learn how to facilitate change in children and youth and their families to develop alternative behaviors which reestablish personal growth. You'll implement a range of prevention, intervention, and treatment strategies for youth, children, and their families. Next. Sorry, next slide. Thank you. So apprenticeship training is an agreement between a person wishing to learn a skill and an employer who can provide the environment for the skills training. It is administered in Ontario by the Apprenticeship Client Service Branch of the Ontario Ministry of Labour, Training, Skills and Development. And in collaboration with the support you get on your sponsorship from the ministry, you also have that additional support from your field placement specialist and faculties at Mohawk College. Next slide. Great. Thank you, everyone. I will turn it over to Kim Ann now to speak to you about Human Services Foundation, but please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions.
And hello, everyone. My name is Kim Ann Loesch, and I'm the Associate Dean in Community Studies. So I'm here today to talk to you about the Human Service Foundation program. So this program is a 1-year certificate program, and the requirements for admissions are an OSSD or equivalent diploma, grade 12 English, E, C, or U, or equivalent. So some of the highlights. So essentially this program is exactly what the title says. It's preparing you for a career in human services. So a lot of these students that take this program, they're not sure, they know they want to work with people, they're just not sure where they want to work and in which program. So typically they would take this program to give them the foundation to learn what it's like to work in a helping profession. There's a lot of group work experiences, because when you are working in helping professions, you're going to be working within groups and within teams. So it's really a preparatory program, 2 semesters, that will prepare you to work in the helping services fields. So some of the learners may move on to a child and youth care program or early childhood education, a social service worker after they complete the certificate program. So some of the highlights, it's very community-based in terms of what the potential careers are that you could be having after you take this program. And you're going to use your skills to discover how you can best serve your community in the helping profession. So you'll find that some of the coursework, you're really talking about what is your role in community. And there's often opportunities for the learners to go out in community to do various activities. And that will be very dependent on what's happening in the world, of course, with our COVID situation as well. Also really looking at it's really a preparatory program to get you ready to do other things in post-secondary education. So we find that, you know, some of our learners go on to human services professions, those ones that I mentioned earlier. So we really give you those foundational skills, how to work with people, how to understand human rights, what's inclusivity look like, how do I be a part of my community and build my community. And also looking at, we often bring in faculty from other program areas and from the community who are working as in the helping professions, such as child and youth care professions or early childhood education or social service work. So you really get a good understanding of a variety of different human services professions that are working with a variety of individuals with varying needs. Next slide, please. So in terms of experiential learning, so what that looks like, it's hands-on. So you know, of course, there's a little bit of lecture, very small portion, with bringing in guest speakers, doing lab work, doing role play. When I say lab work, that's usually group work. So we may teach you a little bit and then give you some activities to help you make those connections in learning. And we really try and have all of our lessons to meet all of the varying learning styles. So some people learn by seeing information like a PowerPoint. Some students learn by hearing people speaking, and some students learn from hands-on. So it's really important that we're teaching you all of the different ways that you learn. And there are some optional community-based visits just to help you understand and gain a better understanding of community and what some of these professions might look like. So we do have a variety of different opportunities to look at it, to go visit other agencies. Also interactive simulations like role plays, and videos, those types of things. And we really want to foster social responsibility and leadership through service learning projects. So you will have the opportunity to do some of that in the second semester. So really giving you as much opportunity to work with people, to understand what it's like to work in teams and groups, and really honing in on what type of strategies and skills that you will need to work in helping professions, and to understand the population that you could potentially be working with. Next slide, please. And any questions? So we're at the question period, so I will take it over to Kim, and who will facilitate that for us today.
Wait a minute, which Kim? So thank you very much, everybody, for the presentation. That was great, a lot of information. Good question that we get a lot. Are there any transfer options into a university from child and youth? Do we have any articulation agreements?
Yes, we do actually. Many of our students, and as I forgot to mention that in the apprenticeship program, you can take 4 additional courses and receive the full CYC diploma. Once you have that diploma, we have an agreement with Ryerson where you actually transfer into 3rd year towards their child and youth care degree.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a really good agreement there. Is it difficult to find a CYC apprenticeship opportunity?
It's definitely not. There are so many supports available in the community and growing every day. We have now had the school boards take on CYCs into eventually will be all elementary and secondary schools. So that opens up some wonderful placement opportunities, as well as our community agencies, residential homes, healthcare facilities, group homes, even community supports. We have so many opportunities. Thankfully, people are able to offer paid sponsorships, which is a great way to support them. And our students are able to maintain that initial sponsor through their entire program as long as they complete the Mohawk College placements.
Now, we've mentioned going from CYC to university, from the apprenticeship to university. Once we complete the apprenticeship, are we then able to do the diploma?
Yes, sorry, and that's what I meant when I said that. Anyone with the CYC diploma can automatically transition into the Ryerson degree. The apprenticeship students would need to take 4 additional courses. Many of our students do that during their time at the college. So by the time they are finished apprenticeship, they have those additional courses. So their sociology, human sexuality for child and youth care, those can be taken, as well as 2 general electives on their own. They can complete those through continuing education while they're completing their sponsorships, and then they will be graduating with that diploma and also have that access to Ryerson.
That's great. And what suggestions would you give to graduates for our graduate certificates to support additional learning and additional skill sets? So community service management is one of them for sure. And we also have our intensive programs as well. So students may be eligible for our social service work intensive, ECE intensive, educational support intensive as well. That's great. Can students choose their own placements if there's a specific agency they want to work with?
Sorry, I'll speak to that one. Yeah, so actually what we do, and ideally, you know, students would get their first choice of placement, but we have what we call a request form and process that we go through. We typically ask students to select their top 3 placements, and we also work with the student to kind of bring to their attention their skills and what we would recommend for their placements. And we also want to ensure that they create their future path. So ideally, if this is somewhere you would like to work in the future, let's maybe hold off on that placement till your final placement. So we work with the student. Typically, they are able to get a placement that they choose. And if not, we find something similar for them.
What if they've already got previous work experience? Can that be used towards placement requirements?
Yes, it is possible to what we would call PLAR, or Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition. If they have been working in the field and it meets the requirements of the PLAR, then that could count for one of their placement experiences.
Sorry, Stacey, it's like I'm bombarding you with these questions.
No
but
problem.
Are there any opportunities for certifications through the program as well, like mental health first aid, anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. So we offer nonviolent crisis intervention. We offer assist training. We recommend CPR, first aid, mental health first aid, and all of those are offered at the college as well.
Great. And once you graduate and you go into your career, is there any professional memberships that you have to be part of to work as a CYC?
I'll let Kim Ann take that one for you because she knows a little bit more about the registration there.
Sure. There is the opportunity to be a member of the Ontario Association for Child and Youth Counselors, and there is that opportunity for there's a student membership as well. So essentially, it's a membership for those in the CYC field that really, there's lots of opportunities for professional development and networking and gaining an understanding of what's current and what are the current trends in the CYC field and the CYC profession. So there is a student membership, and then once they graduate, then they can apply for a full membership. And the criteria typically is they have experience as a CYC and they have the CYC credential. So the CYC diploma would typically be what they would need. So, and all of the faculty that teach in the area are members of the OACYC. Great question.
And we have a question, yeah. We have a question coming in from Jessica, one of our attendees. What are the employment rates and what are graduates doing after they graduate from the program? Stacey or Kim Ann, can you speak to that?
I was just going to say, I'll let Kim Ann speak about the graduation rates, but
yeah, so the graduate rates are pretty high, and in terms of hiring, this is a profession that, as Stacey talked about when she did the PowerPoint slide, there's a variety of places that you can work in the CYC field. So that's one of the great benefits of the 3-year advanced diploma, is that it really gives you diversity in terms of your skill set. So in terms of employment rates, what we do find is that some of the learners that graduate end up working in a couple of different places in part-time opportunities before they may get a full-time job. That's not to say you wouldn't, but I think that's sometimes a choice because they really want to build on that diversity around being able to work in a variety of different settings. So wonderful opportunities. And what we also find is, Stacey talked about the placement piece. So there's 448 hours and 504 hours in semester 5 and 6. And what we're finding is that some of these students are getting hired from these field placement opportunities, which is fabulous. And some of them, as Stacey talked about this too, around the PLAR, which is essentially college credit for paid work experience. So some of these students may get hired or come in with experience, and they can actually do a PLAR for that. But there are lots of opportunities for employment, and we often hear from our grads of all the wonderful opportunities and places that they've been working. So it's really great to hear from them and to see all the wonderful things they're doing. So lots of opportunities out there. And that's, if I could say anything about this diploma, is, and I am a grad of this program, I will tell you, I'm a grad of the child and youth. Back in my day, it was child and youth worker at Mohawk. And there is so much opportunity for growth and even if you're working in one agency, you can have 6 different opportunities. You could work in a school, you can work in a residence, you could be an integration worker, community-based, family work. There's so many opportunities. So there's a lot of diversity with this field. Can't say enough about it.
And are all placements unpaid, or will some companies pay?
Depending on the program you are registering for. So as I mentioned, sponsorships can be paid. So if you're supported by the ministry and you're doing the apprenticeship program, that can be paid. All Mohawk College CYC placements are unpaid.
And I know this has been mentioned, but do many students find employment directly from Human Services Foundation? Or is it strictly designed for further education?
Okay, that's a great question. And the last question you asked was specific to CYC. I just want to clarify that. Yeah. Because CYC is a very specific profession, where Human Service Foundation is more like a pre-course. So what we're doing is educating you around helping professions. So what you would likely need in order to seek employment is to go on to one of the other courses that I talked about earlier, whether it's CYC, social service work, ECE, and those types of programs, because it is a certificate program. Those are the ones that we've mentioned in human services or social services would be diploma programs as well.
Okay, great. One last question from me. Kim-Ann, you've mentioned a lot of different areas in the human services field. Do you find that there's one over the other that really is experiencing the most growth right now?
What we're really finding is definitely a lot of learners move on to the social service worker program and the child and youth care program. But really, if you look at anything that they're learning in Human Service Foundation, it is exactly what it says. It's very foundational. So if you're looking at, we're really focusing on community and group work and interpersonal communication and working in teams and problem solving and looking at community-based projects and identifying projects and solutions. So it's really giving skills. Not only is it giving you a certificate, but it's really giving you skills to be able to build on in any future opportunities in education. So if they're taking the Human Services program, we're really honing in on that. And then you further build when you go on to a diploma program. And I just want to talk real briefly too. If, for instance, if a learner took the child and youth care 3-year advanced diploma, and Kim, you mentioned this earlier, there's a lot of grad certs that the learners can take with the intensive models, but we also have mental health and disability management and brain disorders as well that are in my department, in addition to the ones that were mentioned, that a lot of learners move on to take from either the CYC or some of the other programs at the college. So there are opportunities. That's the beautiful thing about Mohawk, is that there's pre-courses like HSF, then there's diploma programs like CYC, and then there's other opportunities for you to build on that. So essentially, you could come to college for 4 years and end up with 2 diplomas, which is pretty awesome. If you take an intensive program, it's 2 semesters. So if you took the child and youth care program and you went on to take social service worker intensive, it's 2 semesters for a diploma. Because with the intensive models, what we do is we give you credit for the things that you've already taken in the diploma, like your communications, your general electives, your psychologies, and those types of things. So there's so many pathways even internally to explore. So if you do end up coming to the child and youth care or the HSF program, certainly talk to your coordinators and your SSAs. We have Kimberly Black on the line here as well. There's other opportunities for you to continue, and all fabulous programs. And I just want to give a little pitch while I have a minute here. I want to really say how—
You're about to beat me to it.
I know. So how fabulous the faculty are. And I can't say this enough. All of the faculty that teach in these programs have worked many years in the helping professions. They're subject matter experts. All of the faculty in the child and youth care program have a child and youth worker diploma and additional qualifications, such as the degree from Ryerson that Stacy talked about, and some of them have master's levels education as well. So they have diversity in terms of their education, and their experience, because the beautiful thing about Mohawk and college education is that we really, it's you know, we're teaching you the theory. So that's what we're teaching you in the lectures. And then we're teaching you how to apply that. So when you go out into a placement, you can apply the theory to practice. So, you know, research will tell us that learners make connections in learning through experience. If they can relate to it, then they're going to learn from it, which is awesome. And the other thing I do want to really say, and Stacy talked about it earlier, and I just want to build on it, is we're in a very different environment right now. And typically it wouldn't be a fully online delivery in fall, but I really want to know that we are here to support you. There's like, the faculty have done some really innovative, awesome things to support you in the fall. So I really want to reassure you that there's lots of help. Kimberly Black's role is the student success advisor, and she really, or coach, and she really helps to support learners proactively. You know, even though, as Stacy said, we're not face-to-face, we're always available virtually to connect with via email. So I just really want you to know that when you're making your choices, that you will be supported here. And it's an awesome college and an awesome programs that we have here. And we just really want you to know that you'll be supported.
Sorry, there's just a plane going overhead, so I apologize if anybody heard that. So I'm going to put you on the spot now, Kimberly. Social service, student support. What kind of student support assistance can you provide our students?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Kimberly Black. So I'm a student success coach, and I support all of the programs in community studies. I work as part of a team. So I work with student success advisor, Tracy Richardson. And mainly what I want you to know is that when we're heading into fall and we're heading into this remote learning environment, all of the support services here at the college are also being offered in a remote format. So you're not going to be on your own. You do have the opportunity to connect with myself, with Tracy, and we can help you navigate some of the other services also at the college. There's still support available through our Learning Support Center. If you need peer tutoring help, our accessible learning services, all of those things are still running and available, and they're all still very much accessible to you. So what, as a student success coach, what I can do, or Tracy, we can meet with you. We meet with students regularly, like I said, to help you navigate the campus resources. I can help with success strategies. If you're ever struggling, we can help talk about that, make a plan for success. We're just kind of a good bridge between sort of your program area and all of the different services that are available at the college to support your success. We're always a good first point of contact too. If you have questions or if you're not sure where to go, we can always help direct you to. So we're always really accessible right now through email, through Zoom appointments, by phone, and I'll be available all summer as well. If you have questions heading in, if you're kind of concerned about anything or before September, you can contact me over the summer as well.
Great, thanks. One last call out. Any of our participants have any questions, please enter them into the chat function. Otherwise, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for attending today, especially our faculty. You guys were amazing. Lots of good information that you've shared today. It's greatly appreciated. We hope this leaves all of our participants confident to join us this September. Mohawk truly is a great school. I'm passionate about it, as are each of one of the faculty that have joined us today. We'd like to thank everyone who has joined us again. If you need assistance with next steps, have any additional questions, or would like to speak to an advisor, you can connect with us by email, discover@mohawkcollege.ca. So again, thank you all for joining us, and I guess that's it for today. Thank you, everybody.